All right, Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today, I just want to, get into a lesson concerning the end of the world. Because what else could we talk about? But the end. And everything we seeing on display here, the events that's happening throughout the earth are not random at all. It's the intents and purposes of Yahweh Shema Shai, the power of heaven and earth. So everything is going according to schedule. Ultimately, you want to fast forward the movie. Pretty much America is going to be destroyed by the way of World War III. But before that, it's going to be a series of evils that's going to consume these people, man. And we really here now. It's just only going to intensify. So I'm going to start off this in the book of 2 Ezra 9 and verse 1. It reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the heights will begin to visit the world which he made. So us seeing things through the testimony of Yahweh Shai, we understand that this is the visitation of the Lord that's happening. From the different chaos that's happening, from the protests and food shortages, wars, to so-called natural disasters, because that's the norm now. You got hurricane season and tornado season. That shouldn't be a thing, but this just shows that this is part of the visitation of the Lord as we see things through the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Now we understand that this is that time. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. See? So we see it. But we actually understand. That's why I said we shall well understand. As these things happen, we can make sense of it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Anyone else outside of this, they would examine it and, depending on the situations. Just for an example, concerning this war, someone outside of this, they would feel bad, the families of the victims and peace, all this. Just show you they're not in tune with the will of the Lord. But we will understand. We actually need these things to unfold. This is gonna help us out, that we don't die in the pit. It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. See? So this is where we at. We at the end of the world. We at the end of Esau, the so-called white man, these nations, the end of the LGBT, McDonald's, PlayStation, anything you could think of concerning, everything that you see today within this system is we at the end of it, man. Everything is at its end, but the signs are here. So I got a few articles. Ain't nothing too tough. I just want to just read the title, Salakia. So this is from ABC 17 News, it reads, anti-ICE protesters arrested outside 26 Federal Plaza in New York, NYC. So as you can see, going back, as we read in second to the 9th chapter, the uproars of the people. I think it's another one. It speaks about that. How they should not regard kings or princes, because they might call it a ICE protest, but then they got the anti-Trump. You know, is it 15? Bear with me. Yep, this is it. 2 15, verse 16. Matter of fact, I started at 14. It reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So as you can see, we start out in verse 14, it said, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So in the previous lesson I did, concerning how this world was created for many, but the world will come for few, is show that a lot of people here in this lifetime is going to be put to death, man. And when I said woe to them that dwell therein, and dwelling not just because you alive in this time. No, it's those that have you hang your hat here. You know, you got the same mindset. You know, the doctrine, the lifestyle. That falls under that category. It says for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you're gonna have that. You see it now with the infighting. You got the right versus the left. That show you that the Lord has smitten this place with a wound, man. And that fatal blow is going to be the missiles. But you can see now you got the infighting. You know, these people are not seeing eye to eye. And that also shows, you know, how the blessings, you know, the blessings and the curses, you know, is being transferred by the way of, you seeing Israel really beginning with the elect. It's coming together. You know, that's their healing. You know, then Esau is dealing with the curse. You know, that evil eye towards your brother, which we, of course, 2/3 of our people still, you know. But that's going on Esau now, man. The very things we were plagued with is now coming upon this man, you know. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So that, just, you know, going on to the point, you know, these different ICE protesters and anti-Trump, and it's only going to get worse, you know. It's only going to get worse. And you already have these people that voted for Trump and thought that he was going to be the guy that, you know, had a game-winning catch. And they're turning on him. They're regretting their decision. They actually considering, like, damn, the bitch probably would have came out, but no. Either way, it would have still been a shit situation. But at the end of the day, you know, this is all signs of the end. You know? So matter of fact, I got another article. Let's see. It says Las Vegas sees drop in tourism, hinting at broader economic woes facing the U.S. See? So this is what we're saying, that whore is not that. She's not that eye candy no more. You know, she fell off. Things are not looking, you know, the account in the negative. You know, you got bitch had to take a whole bath, a bird bath, you know what I mean? She's not that woman no more, man. And these people are feeling the crunch. Let's get this real quick. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. And this is a commandment. We actually seeing this playing out. The Lord is bringing this place down. It says, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. See? They show you that that's what the Lord is doing, is breaking you down. And it's all about power. That's why I said there is no throne. So this is concerning the rulers. The Lord's telling you your time is up. It says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. See? Because it will these certain cities such as Vegas that will lure you in. But see that old stank out. You got that these terms, sit down air and shit like that. You can smell her. You see where the wig start, She ain't got it no more, man. Ultimately, time caught up with her. And really, the bitch really is on borrowed time when you go into it. So this is where we at. I just show you that this place has fallen off. Matter of fact, let's see. I think that's Isaiah 24. Let's see. Isaiah 24. I started selling the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice of endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. So, these different pastimes, the shit is really fading away. Just going back to the article, the Vegas shit, the drop in tourism. People ain't got time to fucking unwind now. And then you got a bill to worry about It just all points to the end. So, matter of fact, I got one more article. And South China Morning Post. It reads, as China diffuses its time bomb of doubt, U.S. hears the ticking intensifying. In China, it was another article as well. China got them the killer wolf dogs. I mean, the robot wolf dogs of some of that effect. They killer bots. But you can see that it said the U.S. hears the ticking intensifying. So ultimately, that's what's going on all levels. It's a big countdown to the end. It's gonna this financial crash. All this is all part of the plan. Because this is in a sense, this is chip talk as well. But just going back to the point, the signs of the end. The depth. Oh, when it talks about the fish gate, it talks about the merchant city. It might be Zephaniah. I think the body about me out shy. Zephaniah 1. And in verse 10 it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. So, and that's what's finna happen, because of course you had America suffer these different financial woes and hits. You had the Great Depression, and you had a crash back in the 80s and the recession. But this said it's gonna be a great crash in front of the hills, because this right here, that's why everybody fucking tight. You gotta have you got plenty of TikToks of people ranting on why they can't do this and do that. It's only going to get worse. Is it ever for this money to crash? It says, "How ye inhabitants of Mactesh," going back to those that dwell therein, because of course we got to be here, and you got your day-to-day pay bills and shit like that, but we ain't looking to be here forever. We ain't trying to make our bed here. So these people, they gonna it said how ye inhabitants of Mactesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. See, so you seeing that now, and that's why you see in this digital society, the more you're hearing about the financial woes and setbacks, the more you hear about a digital solution, man. But even in that, once this devil get the tip off and get so many people hit with it, the destruction coming. Matter of fact, we'll end it off on this in the book of St. Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 29, it reads, immediately after the tribulation of those days. So this is after these series of plagues and people die, and in the tribulation, that sea hip is going to be a big part of it. And this is we coming to in that time. We here now, and it's, like I said, it's only going to intensify. Only thing this dog really got to do is sign a law, because the 15-minute cities are really here. Once you see these damn little scooters, you in a 15-minute city. When you see these condos and shit really in arm's reach of everything, that's a 15-minute city, man. So the only thing this nigga gotta do is sign a law for it to be a requirement, But after that, it's gonna be a period of time where the Lord gonna allow this man to do what he do. But it says, going back, immediately after the tribulation, see, of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. See? And that's concerning World War III. That's the climax to this man's system. This is what's going to cut him off officially. And there are missiles on the earth that's pointed at America, Babylon the Great. So we at the end, man. So yeah, I just sort of edify. I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect that's teaching word in all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.